Batteries! These are the batteries I removed from my EV battery packs in the last video. As promised, I've tested them, and now it's time to share with you the results. That's it. It's a short video. Real quick, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Ecoflow, and they'd like me to tell you about their Prime Day sale where you can save big from July 4th to July 17th. You can save up to $900 on products like this Delta Max. If you're unfamiliar with Ecoflow, they make a wide range of portable power solutions like this Delta Max. The Delta Max has 6 outlets and 1800 watts of inverter output. What that means is anything you can plug into these outlets, it can run. And with 2 kilowatt hours of onboard battery, it can run something at full continuous max load for an hour. And you can recharge it from a standard house outlet, which it does incredibly quickly. I believe it charges in around an hour. You can charge it from solar panels, from the sun. You can charge it from your car. The possibilities are endless. And if it doesn't have enough battery for you, you can get an extra battery that plugs right into it and expands its capacity. This thing can power a job site, an RV, an off-grid cabin, loads of things. But if you don't need such heavy power requirements, Ecoflow, like I said, makes a whole wide range of power solutions. Maybe you just need to charge your laptop on the go, or some drill batteries, or whatever. They have a smaller line of river products, and everything in between. If you want to check it out for yourself, there's a link in the description below this video, and thanks again to Ecoflow for sponsoring this video. This is the one module that I took out of the Coda pack, and I ripped it apart on camera so that I could take out each individual cell and test it. And to recap what I said in the last video, for each cell I charged it up to 3.6 volts and then capacity tested it down to 2.5 volts. And the results were disappointing in a very good way because they were all fine. The lowest capacity rating that I got out of these cells was 14.68 amp hours, and the highest I got was 15.19. These were all in a really even distribution from bottom to top. There were no outliers, and all of them were good. All of them were good. There are a number, 36 cells here, and they're all fine. Quick little caveat, I did not do an internal resistance test of these cells because I don't have the equipment. And quite frankly, I don't even know what that means. And I only tested this one module because this is the only module that I tore apart. If you remember from the last video, tearing this apart involved just destroying all the beautiful spot wells that held this together. And since I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to use the modules out of these packs, I didn't want to destroy them before I knew how I was going to use them. Maybe I want to keep the spot wells intact. I don't know yet. But given how well this module performed, I don't really think I need to test the rest of the cells anyway. It would take an absurdly long time, and all of the voltages from all of the series, or the parallel banks of the cells, is within 1/100th of a volt of each other. So it seems like the entire rest of the pack, on both packs, is just fine, and I don't really feel the need to test them. The WeGo cells, on the other hand, I only tested these 3 cells, because I had these 3 cells on charge for 3 solid days. And none of them went past 3.3 volts. They just gave up. They stopped charging. One of them only got to 3.25 volts, so I gave up. Another reason I gave up, though, is because even if I did manage to find some good cells out of them, the only thing I could use them for is some sort of energy storage solution, like for solar panels in my shop or something, and I'm not really interested in a project like that right now. And I had a guy that emailed me say, hey, can I have several of the WeGo cells? I don't care if they're dead, I just want to play around with them. So I said yes, and I'll be giving away most of the pack out of the WeGo because I don't have any use for them. They're mostly dead, and if someone else can find use out of these mostly dead cells, they can have at it. Which brings me neatly onto what are my plans for all of these Coda cells that are good and I have possession of. I'm very excited about this. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to lithium swap my electric mower, which is only going to take 2, maybe 3 of these modules. I'm going to take that whole big 36 kilowatt hour pack and swap it into my drivable Coda once I get all of its issues fixed, which is the next project, by the way. And I'm going to take that whole good pack that came out of my Coda, rip it to shreds, and make the WeGo live again. I have fully decided that that is what I'm going to do. It's going to be a big project, physically reorganizing those cells to make them fit into the WeGo's battery pack, but the WeGo needs to live again. So I'm going to lithium swap my mower. I'm going to take a whole pack and make the WeGo live again. That still leaves me with an entire battery pack minus just 3 modules. I've got a big project plan for all those cells that I'm really excited about. May not happen, but I hope it does. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. Instead, I'm going to tell you what it isn't. I wanted to make my school bus electric drive, have a big electric motor powering the wheels, have a slightly smaller diesel engine powering an electric motor acting as a generator to charge the battery pack. I have to reconfigure the battery pack because it requires much higher voltage than the 333 volts or whatever the Coda pack puts out. However, I'm not going to be doing that right now anyway, entirely because of cost. Because I looked up what an electric motor for that would cost. I looked up a UQM PowerPhase 250 HD Plus motor from UQM, the same company that makes the electric motors in the Codas, and that is perfectly suited for bus duty. But the motor and the inverter is $28,000, and that's just the motor and the inverter. That's not taking into account all the wiring, the physical reconfiguration of the battery pack. Even if the cells are free, it's still going to cost something to reconfigure them. And the extra electric motor that's going to sit behind a diesel engine, and the diesel engine itself. Even if I get some money from selling the diesel engine and the transmission and everything that's already in the bus, still probably wouldn't cover half of that. So I'm going to set that big plan off to the side for now, for probably quite a while, because of cost. Also, I don't need to add more scope to that big bus project. I'm hardly getting enough done as it is. So that's your battery update. All of the Coda cells, ostensibly, are good, and I have many fun things planned with them. All of the WeGo cells are crap, and I gave up on them, so I'm giving them away. Told you it was going to be a short video. Thank you for watching.